Hello everybody, and welcome to the second part of the doubleheader Chorf Nurgle quarterfinals Challengers Cup situation. Herringzord is currently casting part 1 over on his channel, but part 2 is due to get started in about 8 minutes or so, and that's going to be over here. So, we've got the Nurgle team in this Nurgle Chorf part 2 is Priest, and my favorite things. Nurgle team coming out of G-Man 3A, who made it to this point in the bracket by taking down JJ Cash and Toro Loco in the last round, 1-0. And this is what their team looks like. One thing that I'm sure I'm going to mention several times is the name scheme pleases me very much. It is, you know, my favorite things from the Sound of Music, and they are in the right order. You can sing their names: raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. And of course, the best verse is girls in white dresses and blue satin sashes, roach lover Hindus and sacrifice for, which certainly does not fit very well with the theme. But you know, stuff happens, I guess, sometimes. Anyway, in slightly more serious things, thank you, I appreciate that. We've got let's start with the Pestigors because they're at top. There's a Wrestle Frenzy Pestigor. We've got a Rookie Pestigor. We've got a Block Pestigor, and we've got a typical, well, mostly typical Killer Pestigor, in that he has Block, Claw, Mighty Blow, Tackle, Piling On in some order, but it's not in the order you'd expect. Block is, in fact, his second last skill. Mighty Blow, Claw, Piling On before Block is not unheard of on Pestigors, but Tackle before Block is certainly interesting, unless he was very likely just because he was going up against an elf team there. So the Nurgle, the Pestigors are a little underdeveloped. We don't have a true dedicated ball carrying Pestigor, but we do have a rookie one. One touchdown will level him, and we have a Wrestle Frenzy piece as the start of a sacker. Really, the only role player we have here is the Agi-busted Killer. Rotters, because we're here. Couple rando Rotters. We do have one Wrestle Rotter. No DP Rotter to be found. And in the Nurgle Warrior department, we've got Block, Guard, Mighty Blow, Claw, Stand Firm. Block, Guard, Mighty Blow, Claw, Tackle. Block, Guard, Mighty Blow, Claw. The sort of, you know, those are all those skills that I just named are the skills you take on Nurgle Warriors, and in some order. And these are the orders he's chosen. The one interesting thing is we have a Strength 5 Tentacles Nurgle Warrior, which is pretty exciting. He's a mini beast, because this beast, whiskers on kittens. So, like, not only is this a Chorf Nurgle mirror, like, or a Chorf Nurgle matchup like the other match going on right now is, it's also, that match has a Strength 6 Nurgle Warrior, this match has a Strength 6 Nurgle Warrior. So, there you go. So, and by Warrior, I mean Beast. So we got a Strength 6, Movement 5 Beast with, who's got Guard and Stand Firm. Not quite Yaza Mucus, we don't have Break, Tackle, or Block, but Guard, Stand Firm, Strength 6, so certainly had to shift, and Movement 5 lets him, at least keep up with all the Chorf blockers he's going to face, and if he gets marked up on a couple, he can certainly tie up a number of them, and that should be pretty useful for priests. Now we can move on to Commodious Thunder by Wolfram Ajax. Chaos Dwarves 1940. Priest is at 2070, so 130k to go around for Wolfram. So who knows what we actually see out of that? Brad potentially with two hobgoblins here. So, Wolfram coming out of REBBL 3A. So this is a 3A mirror, but it's, you know, G-Man versus REBBL rather than being in the same division. They have come through Chorf Rage to get to this round in a 3-0 victory over another Chorf team. So, Wolfram soundly putting himself in this position. As for the team, some Hobgoblins. We've got the clear ball carrier, Agi 4, Blodge Surehands Hobgoblin, 2 dirty players, 2 idiots. The Bull Centaurs, there is a plus strength Bull Centaur to make a move, strength 5 Bull Centaur to match up against the both these teams have 2 plus strength, by the way, to match up against the strength 6 Beast or the strength 5 Warrior. He's also picked up Block, Break Tackle, and Mighty Blow, so dodging like Agi 5 at least once with that Break Tackle is pretty interesting. Got another Bull Centaur, unfortunately movement busted, so that cuts down his mobility a bit, but he's still got Break Tackle, Mighty Blow, and Block. As for the Chorf blockers, we've got 2 get in the way types here. Well, 3, I guess, with Guard, Mighty Blow, Stand Firm. This one is Dauntless. We've got Guard, Mighty Blow, Stand Firm, Strength, Mighty Blow, Guard. So another plus strength piece, as mentioned before, and a rookie. But 1, 2, 3, 4 Guard, 3 Stand Firm on those Guard. They're certainly going to be annoying to shift. I feel like the Beast is going to be surprisingly important here, because there is 1 Claw Killer Chorf here with Claw, Mighty Blow, Jump Up, and Piling On. Only 5 SPP away from leveling as well for Lemony Aspen Twist. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Pretty big team. Large bench for this. Not a whole lot of money to spend. He could scum a wizard for 20k if he really wants to. It's technically on the table. But I feel like he's probably not going to. I feel like the Beast is going to be pretty important here. Just the raw strength. I mean, 1, 2, 3 Guard Stand Firm pieces are not exactly easy to shift. But it turns out Strength 6 can tie up all 3 of those and only give them a 1 die. But it's a 1 die with block, and considering the Beast doesn't have block, even an uphill, the Chorfs are probably pretty willing to take. And then we do have this Dauntless Chorf as well. I think one thing that's going to matter quite a bit is the fact that Nurgle are Nurgle, and they have 4 Claw Mighty Blow. If they can cut out a couple of the Chorfs, then, you know, that's a reasonable advantage to them, and the Chorfs don't have the biggest bench, especially considering these Mighty Blow Stand Firm Guard Chorfs really add a lot to the presence of the team. Like, 3 Guard Stand Firm is such an immovable wall. 2 Guard Stand Firm or 1 Guard Stand Firm is not nearly as useless, or is not nearly as useful. And speaking of the first half of the Chorf Nurgle doubleheader, welcome along, Herringzord viewers. Something that you may have missed while I was looking at Priest Team that I would like to point out is not only did the match that you just watched have a plus strength Beast of Nurgle and a plus strength Nurgle Warrior, this one also has a plus strength Beast of Nurgle and a plus strength Nurgle Warrior. However, they're probably slightly budget versions, considering this one isn't double plus strength, and this one isn't block as well. But, you know, there's more than one aspect of similarity in this doubleheader today. Welcome along, everybody. Big Chuck, Sean Man, Herringzord, hello. If you're still around, Herringzord, you're more than welcome to join me in the Recapper Discord. Priest says they are about to start. Priests, I don't know if I'm supposed to add the T to the end of that or not. They are in inducements now, so we'll go find the game. The Nurgle have a lot of claw, which I think is going to be. I was just talking about. I think is going to be a pretty big selling point for the Nurgle here. The Chorfs have a lot of guard, stand firm. They can kind of do a lot of get in the way type thing, to be a nice little sort of wall of nonsense, but if we can knock out a couple of those Chorfs and force them to be replaced with Hobgoblins, because there is a pretty serious bench for the Chorfs, then suddenly things look quite a bit Nurgle favored. So we'll have to see how well the Claw Mighty Blow fires. Sweet, no problem. Should be getting going any minute now. I missed the end of that last game, so please, no spoilers, because I had to come set this one up, by the way. I left when it was still 1-1. Oh, here we go. I also sang a little bit of my favorite things, so coming here late, you got to miss that part. He has his favorite things, like from the song, and they're all in order on his roster. So you can actually just read them down and sing out the song until you get to the bottom where there's Pokemon and you have Roach Lover Hindus and Sacrifice 4, which is a part of that song that I don't remember. So the Chaos Dwarfs did have 130k, so what have they picked up with that? Or did they buy something else? I cannot tell. Pretty sure the Chorfs had 130k. Oh, it looks like they bought a Chaos Dwarf, perhaps, because they had a bench of 3 when I checked before. So in between here, I think they've picked up another Chaos Dwarf. But yeah, so where are they? Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. Brown paper packages tied up with string. But then we also have Sacrifice 4 and Roach Lover Hindus, which are not part of the song list I checked. And there's a Loner Hobgoblin. There we go. That's what else I was missing. So that'll explain that. It's picked up an extra piece to... so it's not buying a new Chorf there. It's the Loner Hobgoblin. I didn't notice the Loner. So that is just a sacrificial piece to get in the way of all this Claw Mighty Blow. A player he doesn't care about that he can use. Not only for being in the way in LOS duty, and it's another body, you know, potentially also using it for fouls. You can make it fit into the cadence, which is great. Roach Lover, Hindus, you know, see? That's a good question, considering it is Wolfram Ajax. You'd expect it to have a better uniform. But who knows? So we have the Nurgle going on offense here first, so they're looking to see if they can generate any damage. We don't have the important Hobgoblin on the field, so really their main targets are trying to knock out some of this guard on the Chorfs. And of course the Claw Mighty Blow is always something that you want to try to remove. Perfect D could potentially sabotage some of these plans. We're not able to completely get away from blocks here, but we can at least get away from Mighty Blow blocks. Or at least some. Yeah, we can mark up on the wrestle here. We can get away from the Beast, potentially, and just accept that we're going to get Claw Mighty Blowed a couple times. You could put the Loner over here, for example, and he's just going to get hit by cream-colored ponies. It does fit, it's great. Roach Lover, Hindus, and Sacrifice 4. It's the right number of syllables. Like, I really appreciate the naming for priests here. The most tuneful streamer in REBBL. Well, I don't know if you're being sarcastic, Wolfbark, but thank you. Yeah, it's kind of funny, yeah. We get the perfect defense, and then we step away from the Claw Mighty Blow as much as we can, and then just move the team further away. I mean, honestly, with 5, well, there's 4 Claw Mighty Blow, 5 Mighty Blow. I feel like the Chorfs are trying to limit attrition pretty seriously this half. Priest really wants to get through as many Chorf resources as possible in terms of both the the Apo, the number of players. Like, he's just gonna try to get burn through the resources available to Wolfram. Is his main goal here. So Wolfram is gonna try to preserve those resources, right? The absolute best case situation for, you know, Wolfram is stealing the ball and scoring, but like a more realistic version is, you know, the Nurgle scoring on turn 5, 6 if he can force it while still having all his players. But a compromise, he'd probably take like the turn 8 score while not having burned through his bench or Apo. And then he gets to hit back in return. No Grashnak. I know. It's also a Chorf Nurgle Mirror. There's also a plus strength beast. There's also a plus strength warrior with tentacles. It's so appropriate that these were back to back. Well, there's number one down. Loner inducements are immediately gone, with the Loner Hobgoblin being badly hurt. Nice inducement money there. Done, gone, over. And block number 2 is just a stun. Mighty Blow accomplishing the armor break there. I'm gonna blitz this last line Hobgoblin with the Mighty Blow Claw, getting a 3-die out of it, just trying to get as many removals as possible. With the Perfect Defense having moved the Chorps back, it's a lot more difficult to engineer a good block where you can hit one of the more valuable pieces and then keep your Pestigore safe as well. Considering it's his only developed Pestigore, he kind of needs to keep him around. Only finds a stun. I did mention that too. He takes you take Mighty Pestigore, Killer Pestigore. Here are the skills you take. You take these skills in some combination. Mighty Blow, Block, Claw, Tackle, Piling On, and then Juggernaut generally. In some order, you take those things. And he took Mighty Blow, Claw, Piling On, Tackle, Block. Mighty Blow, Claw, Block, Piling On, or Mighty Blow, Claw, Piling On, Block is not that uncommon on a killers to accelerate their development. Tackle before block is certainly interesting. And it's very likely because he was playing against an elf team or something and just needed that tackle. But it's really funny to see this on a player. He's got Agi 2, in fact. So the Nurgle have finished their first turn with 1 Hobgoblin down, 2 stunned, and the ball's in the hands of Crisp Apple Strudels, the rookie Pestigore. And then we get to see what Wolfram is going to do in response to this. So what he does have is, you know, Strength 4 guard, stand firm, guard, stand firm, guard, stand firm. Like he can mount a pretty serious wall that is difficult for the Nurgle to get by. The question is, you have to balance that with not getting punched by the million Claw Mighty Blow that exist. If we just go too ham with slapping Chorfs up against players, we're going to get some dead Chorfs. I would be very surprised if we did much other than just blitz a thing and then kind of leave. Yeah, that does happen too, Big Chuck. I know I've done that personally. Well, actually, what I did is I was building a killer, and then he got niggled, so I started building a backup killer for the time when the first killer got killed, and then the backup killer just outskilled the main killer because the main killer never died, and then I ended up with 2 Pestigores that looked like this, which wasn't really bad. Eventually, he did die, but you know. I mean, I understand the logic. I'm not angry about it. I think it's just funny. It's just not normally what you see. And he's done something similar with the Nurgle Warriors. I mean, Block, Guard, Mighty Blow, Claw, Tackle, Stand Firm in some order is pretty common on Nurgle Warriors, and you see that on 3 of the 4 of them. And the one that is different is the one with plus strength. Chorf comes in, and we find our own stun in return. We are marked up against a Pestigore, but it's one of the least dangerous Pestigores, at least. We'll get to see what Priest does in response to this, but we have a lot of Chorf targets, and if he really wants to, he can start just getting his Nurgle Warriors involved, which on the one hand has a very high upside, but you do need to be careful that you don't allow one of these Bull Centaurs to get around and go after your rookie ball carrier. Something that they do need to keep in mind is that this Bull Centaur is Break, Tackle, Strength 5, right? It's like when you see that 2 heads Beastman on your opponent's team, you are wary of it because it can ignore tackle zones. This Bull Centaur can do some nonsense if you leave yourself open to it. I mean, the one weakness is that it can't deal with more than 1 set of tackle zones, so if you just layer them, you're fine. They have to make more than 1 dodge. But You can't just leave your ball carrier in a position where he'll have to dodge. He can't make it. It's fine, because then you're just going to get bull centaured. Especially since he's carrying on this rookie Pestigore, presumably in an attempt to level him, being at 3 SPP. So we do have to be very careful of this bull centaur, and we can't commit too many of our resources to just punching Chorfs, or else he's not going to be safe. REBBL has some impressive beasts. My beast is like there's Yazza of Mucus, there's Whiskers on Kittens, the ex-wife is still around. I had Ivysaur, who is a block, guard, stand firm, dodge plus movement beast, which was kind of fun, but he died sadly. But he was a blodge stand firm beast of Nurgle, which was ridiculous until he died. I know, right? The AV probably would have helped, actually. So we go after the rookie Chorf with brown paper packages. Break a little hole in the middle. It allows the beast to move forward and mark himself up on 3 players. Not exactly the players that you want to have completely tied up. That's kind of the Chorfs. But at least it's creating a player advantage, to use sort of other game terminology. Or, you know, we're trading 1 player here for the use of 3 players. This Chorf could potentially pretty easily uphill the beast to get some goblins free, but the hobgoblins are incredibly high value. And the uphill is not unreasonable considering the beast does not have block. Open up a hole. Unfortunately for Priest, we don't find the removal on a Chorf. And we've moved up Crisp Apple Strudels pretty much as far as he's capable of going. And now we just have to make sure that we don't leave a path through for this bull centaur to go after him, and we're pretty safe. We'd like to try to maximize our Claw Mighty Blow block so that we can get some more damage next turn. And we have some of that here, right? In pretty much the least risky way we can. So we've got 1 marked up against this Chorf. He'll be able to punch here. Assuming we don't hit him, of course. These 2 hobgoblins are both marked against this guy currently. Well, this hobgoblin and this Chorf are marked against this guy. So if they stand up or don't do anything about it, we get another Claw Mighty Blow hit coming in here. And we have the Blitz, of course. Abandoning the Chorfs off to their left side here with Schnitzel with Noodles to their fates, and concentrating ourselves on the right side here. The Chorfs did move a large portion of their Chorfs off to this side, and Chorfs are pretty slow. They're not going to be able to like kind of get out in front very easily. The Bull Centaurs can certainly do some work, but these 4 Chorfs are fairly marginalized over on this side alone. They do have the opportunity to just kind of run in this way, though, and we can kind of sandwich the Nurgle a little bit. The problem is the Nurgle will have a relatively easy time breaking through the front, I think, if they would like to. That's kind of the only real way we can get the Chorfs super invested. We can palm this guy with a Chorf if we would like to. It is 1 GFI, but it has the benefit of palming a good Nurgle warrior and getting your Chorfs actually involved. No, we're not going to palm him, but we're probably just going to block him with the Chorf here. Just a push. You can still go for it with this Chorf if we'd like, and we still actually have a 2-die on it. This is not quite what I had in mind when I said a wall of Chorfs that was difficult to get by. I mean, yes, technically this is a wall of guard stand firm Chorfs, but they're not in the right direction. They're not in the right orientation. We need a perpendicular line to this one. These Chorfs are not oriented correctly. Block on a beast is incredible, yeah, I would say so. Not even just for the being able to hit stuff with block more reliably, but because people like Chorfs or Dwarves you'll get into this situation where you mark your beast up on a couple guys and you get that player advantage by marking or taking up a couple of players out of the game because they're on one of yours. But then the Chorfs will just uphill you, and they have a pretty reasonable chance of shifting you and freeing up players because you don't have block. But once you get block and stand firm, that becomes pretty much impossible, or at least very unlikely, and people are way more unwilling to uphill you. It's super valuable. That's brown paper packages out, at least for now. I don't think he was referring to this movement in particular. He was referring to the fact that this beast looks very similar to Lazarus's beast, but Lazarus's beast has block instead of movement. An honor hedge for the dead warrior. Yeah, no worries. Well, we fight back in what I mentioned was going to happen. You know, we've got some chorfs marked up on the Claw Mighty Blow. We're going to take the Claw Mighty Blow hits. We remove a chorf. This is super scary, but it is entirely feasible for Priest to just take every one of these chorfs out of the game right now. With the Beast and like these two Nurgle Warriors. Like, this is strength 5 block tentacles. We've got block guard. We've got guard on strength 6. We can lock down a huge chunk of the power of Wolfram's team with just a couple players here. It kind of like right now, Wolfram has this chorf and 2 bull centaurs to do anything with, and we're using 4 players to accomplish that. It's you know, guard is valuable, strength is valuable. Things like this are why. We will get to punch back, of course, and it's hard to see what's going on with all these skills. This is both scary and interesting, and potentially very good. We'll see what happens. Here comes a Pestigore, the Mighty Blow Claw piece. As I take a sip of my Advent Calendar beer. That's a real thing. Beer Advent Calendar. Highly recommend. Piling on. And Fauna Rumplepuff has been KO'd. The Nurgle Warriors and the Pestigores extracting revenge for the one Nurgle Warrior that was KO'd by KOing twice their number in return. So Chorf's down 2 right now, and 2 of them being Chorfs. Just certainly annoying. 2 of them being guard stand firm Chorfs, actually, which makes the defense quite a bit more difficult. It's going to be a lot harder to actually fight back against the Nurgle Warriors without the guard. Marking up the break tackle bull centaur to try to force him to either block or, you know, potentially burn his break tackle if he wanted to dodge out to go after the ball here. In comes the bull centaur. Movement 5, unfortunately. But we do push a guard out of the way so that we're capable of punching this guy. Well, no, this guy doesn't have guard. And this guy does. So we actually can't really get a good block on the strength 5 Nurgle Warrior here. These 2 pieces tying up a huge chunk of the Chorf team by themselves. Ooh. Sure Feet doing a thing. Probably don't do another one now. We do 1-die him and we find the knockdown. The fact that he was forced into a 1-die. We do find an armor break, which is nice. It should allow us to free up most of these Chorfs and kind of get out of this situation, because we have a turn without the strength piece in there. We do have the beast still to deal with, but we have a 1-die on him currently, and with the jump up even. So we find the POW. This is the Claw Mighty Blow piling on. Armor break on the beast. Oh, there he goes. Whiskers. That's the danger, right? I did say that. Is that it can potentially be valuable to tie up all of these Chorfs, but it's really scary when you have Lemony Aspen Twist enabled to, with his ability to extract revenge. Yeah, jump up doing a thing. He could have 1-died with just this piece without having to jump up, and that was probably going to be the backup plan if jump up failed. And considering the beast doesn't have block, the 1-die is pretty reasonable to do, and it frees up most of his team. But getting it with the claw piece in order to remove that beast, things just went from great to not great for the Nurgle in 1 turn. Very swingy. I mean, yeah, they can make a cage, I guess. They have these two rotters over here, but they're not particularly in useful positions currently. Yeah, I think this is where you probably try to make some forward progress as the Nurgle. You were happy to sit there and fight before, but suddenly you're like, this turn is really scary. Suddenly your sort of good pieces that were keeping everybody locked down are kind of gone, and you've got these two stuns here. We're not going to be able to get much done this turn, but if we can get forward a little bit and at least prevent these Chorfs from going anywhere better, next turn we can stand up this Nurgle Warrior. We have this Nurgle Warrior, we've got a couple Rotters. We can get these Chorfs tied back up again, and then it's pretty much a case of, you know, keep away from the bull, and the Nurgle can be pretty safe. But they have to play this turn well and correctly, because they don't want to give these Chorfs an opportunity to get spread out, get into better positions, and the Chorfs certainly want to take that opportunity while they can with these two stuns. Gets us a 2-die on June Silver Cup, who goes down. We follow so that we can blitz the bull, presumably? Yes. Double skull. But we can burn a reroll, which I think was required, otherwise we were just getting hit back. Hit that bull on the ground. There's also Claw Mighty Blow hit on a bull, but we find no result. Pretty, yeah, because if we didn't, we would be able to hit here, and then we could potentially break tackle our way to a sack. Chorfs, make sure that this bull is in a reasonable position. You want to try not to allow yourself to get tied up too much this turn. See what you can hit with the Claw Mighty Blow, and potentially throw another foul at Blue Satin Sashes. He's kind of a scary piece for the Nurgle to have, and he is marked right up against a Hobgoblin. Who's getting punched? That indicates potentially you. He's wrestle, so there's a little bit of safety there, but it's gonna be, it's possible to get a hit in on here as well. Put guard, blitz, and this piece is slightly more valuable, or at least slightly scarier to you than this piece is. I mean, we could, if we were aiming for damage, we could certainly go after cream-colored ponies. It does leave you in another Chorf hedge, though, and Chorf hedges are often weak to just getting stuck up against a bunch of high-strength guard pieces without any way of getting free. So that we'll see how risky or risk-reward we want to play from Wolfram. Removing a Nurgle Warrior could be pretty valuable. And by could be, I mean definitely is. But you have to weigh the position that it'll put you in afterwards. Making sure that we've got Lilac Meadow Spring. Going after the block piece. And we also double skull. But we don't find the knockdown there, unfortunately. I think we were hoping for the knockdown so that we could single GFI to mark up the ball carrier. Perhaps. Also, just taking out the movement pieces of Nurgle are useful. I mean, any removals are certainly useful. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Nurgle pieces just marked. If the Nurgle want to do anything in terms of going forward, they are not going to be able to be safe. I mean, on the floor, over here, marked. So the ball can go forward, I guess, but he has 0 support when he does so. We can free up at least 1, you know, blitz and then follow, or blitz and then follow, but they're all marked on individual players, so it's likely going to have to be some risky 3+ dodges at the end of our turn here. And here comes the foul. Nothing. Roll the 5. If the Nurgle want to go forward here, they're going to be in prime potato territory. I think what's probably going to be better for them, considering they still have 3 turns, is to just use this marking that they've been provided with to not get a whole bunch of get as many Claw Mighty Blow hits off as they can, and then, you know, recenter themselves a little bit, try to get their team together, seeing if we can get some removals. That is not helpful for removal. Yeah, Wolfbark saying he needs to go back to the right. Going forward is suicidal. Going back is bad because you only have 3 turns after this one. Nurgle aren't known for being fast. Center or right, if you can make it, are pretty reasonable. Blitz here to try to free up this guy, as well as move our ball. We do find the knockdown. And where are we putting the ball? In the center. That means we're not blitzing with this Claw Mighty Blow player, but we are like pretty solidly outside the range of this Bull Centaur now, which I think is kind of the idea. And the Chorvs don't... Oh, okay. The it's not safe, but it's not unsafe. It's pretty scary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The only way the bull can get after the ball right now is by... So we're gonna have to, if we block this guy and push him here, we can do that, because we don't have the... We can't use Break Tackle twice. But we have to knock down either this player or this player. And this one is up 2 die naturally, so you might as well just take that. There. Now we can get there with this bull, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 3 GFIs with sure feet. But we can hit the ball, the rookie Pestigore, with our strength 5 block. There's a claw hit, so we've actually taken him out as well, so we don't have to roll any of the dodges now. But we also have just the Chorf who can do it. He can't make it a 2 die though, unless we dodge out another Chorf. We could use this Bull Centaur with 2 GFIs to then do it with the Chorf, but I mean that seems unnecessary. It's saving 1 2+, that's rerollable. He didn't he did not pile on. That is correct. Maybe he wanted him to be standing for some reason. I don't know. Chorf's getting a lot of punching in this turn. They can go after the ball, but they have 0 recovery afterwards. Like, they can sack the ball. So here's the question, right? You've got the Nurgle team. Okay, they're going for the ball. It looks like. Yeah, we can go through the middle with that block there to save some GFIs, by the way. Now that we've blocked them out of the way. What I was going to say is you do need to decide what you're going to do with this. Like, it's pretty unlikely that you recover the ball, considering you have, what, 1 movement after this? We do KO the Pestigore. And there's no other free players to do anything. So, like, he can try to pick it up, but then he's nice and alone. And probably won't have the ball. He could have also just gone this way, considering the whole Nurgle team was marked and kind of stuck. Although the Nurgle would be able to get a quite number of blocks. Yeah, the Nurgle would be able to unstick themselves pretty easily. I was going to say you could put the bull up here and then just, you know, wait for the potato and just have the bull available, but I think this is better, considering the Nurgle are going to be able to get themselves free next turn if they want to. I think you just leave the strength 5 on the ball. Like, it's difficult to get that strength 5 out of there with the positioning of where the Nurgle warriors are, or where the Nurgle are. And that makes the pickup pretty difficult, considering there are no sure hands with an Nurgle. Having it would be great, but it's you have one reroll that you'd probably want to dedicate to picking it up. Come on, Casbox. I think everybody wants both teams dead. Well, speaking of dead things, that's a dead Chorf. Big Chuck with the good timing there. Apo down. We have turned that death into a armor bust. Serious concussion. So not really a dead Chorf. Sorry, Dwiggy. He is armor busted, though. But that's the Apo gone for Wolfram, which is another resource gone, which is something that Priest is happy to see, burning through the Chorf resources. Armor busted, strength 4 Chorfs are one of your favorite things. One dying the Bull Centaur. We do get to push him out of the way, and we can recover the ball afterwards with this. I feel like he'd probably try to pick it up here. I don't think he's going to, but we have a 2+2 die, followed by picking it up and just making it so that Priest doesn't score. I mean, he does have to pick it up, but even if he like delays this another turn and gives Priest 2 turns, it's not easy for Priest to score with only 2 turns remaining. If the ball is down here somewhere, or even just on the floor. Oh, that's bad. Although the scatter worked out pretty well. Oh, right, the killer's Agi too. I forgot about the Agi too. That's a good point. You did need to pick up the ball, though, and unfortunately he failed to pick up. But the scatter worked out, so at least it's pretty difficult for the Chorfs to get a hold of the ball, although it's not exactly easy for the Nurgle to score themselves. Let's see. The Agi 2 would have been a 4+ with a reroll, and he tried a 3+3+ with a reroll. I think the 4+ is just better if you're willing to dedicate a reroll to it, which he did anyway. Somebody do the math. And then 4+ with a reroll is 75%. I think the other thing is, oh no, never mind. I was going to say he wanted it on block, but this guy also has block. I just forgot he took it later. Yeah, I think the picking up on the Pestigor was better, and he should have tried it. Where are all the players? Well, there's 4 of them, and there's 3 of them. Gotta pick it up so we can pile on with the ball. Very true. Are we gonna try to... No, we're not. I was gonna say we could try to scatter the ball and then pick it up, and then it's pretty much impossible for the Nurgle to score. The other thing you can do is just focus on the players that are potential scoring threats and just, you know, push them around. Because Priest only has 2 turns to both pick up the ball and get it to the end zone. So he pretty much has to make this guy a scoring threat. I mean, or do some like weird Nurgle Warrior dodges at this point. So as long as you take this Pestigor down and control him, you're pretty unlikely to have a Nurgle score here. And controlling him, that works. Dead is controlled. He did regen though. He was controlled right into the casualty box to bring back an old playoff meme, I believe. So this Rotter can still technically be a scoring threat. But I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, this Nurgle Warrior can as well. So we're not even talking about scoring threats now. We're talking about scoring threats. But there are only 2 pieces on the field for the Nurgle that can be scoring threats. Or that are currently scoring threats, because they can be scoring threats. So, like, getting a score, like, we'll have to see what Priest decides to do here, but, like, getting a scoring threat next turn is not necessarily trivial, especially if we take this bull and, like, put him here. Because this rotter needs to just go. And right now he technically is a 3+, like 2+2+ to be a scoring threat. So that's your best option at a scoring threat right now. Can they not? I don't know. The Pestigores can reach 2. One if they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think this Pestigore is 1 out of range, isn't he? If he has to pick up the ball. I mean, if you pick up the ball with this Pestigore and give it to this one, I think this one's in range. Oh no, he's 1. He's got 1 spare movement. So yeah, this guy's in range. But he is also edgy too. I thought they were 1 square further back than they were. But yeah, they will need 2 GFIs. We pile on and find no result. So we still need to dodge and get this ball, I guess? Nope. Pick it up. There we go. Double GFI now is required. We make both. Although that is the opposite of safe. But, I mean, it's really your only option. We have to do something about this Bull Centaur, don't we? Because we just 2+2 die him, right? I mean, we can also stand this guy up and block here, but it's without block. But it's a 2-die without block, and then a 2-die with block. These both, this is uphill, this is a 1-die. You could break tackle, but you can break tackle and get there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, because this guy's in the way. Oh, there's guard here. Yeah, there's guard, so that's a 1-die. So you just do a 2+, right? You do 2+2 die it with the Bull Centaur with break tackle. Because all you need is a push. This guy is guard, and that's an uphill, so you don't do anything about that. This is a 1-die because this is guard. So I'm pretty sure the play is to 2+2 die, right? Yeah, there's the break tackle. And the push will prevent the score. I think he was debating re-rolling that, and I'm not sure why. As long as you push him to here or here. You didn't even need to follow that. Like, if you just didn't follow that, it's definitely not possible, because then he has no way of getting a chain push out of it. But, I mean, he still has no real way of getting a chain push out of it. There are definitely not enough players to make that happen. So now we just hit stuff, I guess, right? Like, you've accomplished everything you need to do. We punch, we punch. These are gonna be not good blocks because guard is a thing. But you have a hit on a rotter and a hit on a rotter, you might as well take. This is a 1-die, but it's a 1-die with block. And you've done everything that matters. You could also, it is turn 7, so you might want to dodge this guy out and just put him like 2 or 3 squares closer, so that he's a scoring threat, in case next turn you can sack the ball. Looks like we're just going to make this a 2-die instead of aiming for the potential scoring threat. I mean, it wasn't going to be a likely scoring score, because these two hobgoblins are both kind of stuck. We would have had to block with this bull, and then, you know, pick up with somebody else and pass to the Bull Centaur. It's not exactly likely, so maybe he was just aiming for damage and happy for damage considering his opponent isn't going to score. I mean, just having a scoring threat isn't calling something a ball carrier. I've scored on rotters. I don't call them my rotter ball carriers. I just have them as scoring threats because scoring is better than not scoring. Daybreak Purple Dust is injured. Shh. Anybody who ever holds the ball at any point is considered a ball carrier, so Bull Centaurs can't touch it. They had a huge bench though. They had a bench of 4, and they have, the only problem is they're out the strength piece. These two are hobgoblins, so who cares? So they're all replaceable. All we need is one of these two KOs to come back, which is a 50% chance, and we have a full team still. The problem is we're going to be if only one of them comes back, we're replacing two Chorf blockers with hobgoblins, which is not necessarily a great situation. But if both come back, will be pretty good. And we're also throwing double dirty player onto the field here, and so suddenly we might see some Nurgle removals as well. Big Chuck being prophetic here. Dub skulls for blue satin sashes. Well, foul appearance failure. Chooses not to reroll it, because I guess that's not the most important thing you're doing this turn. Although I'm not sure what else would be. Probably this blitz, I guess? Just saving the blitz for this, or saving the reroll for this blitz so that we can get an extra assist on fouling the killer. If you really want to, you can dodge this bull out and get him, but that's a lot of dice. You might as well just punch the ball carrier for an extra block. Alright, Big Chuck is suggesting this foul here is going to kill the killer, and Big Chuck, being the prophet that he is very clearly right. So let's see if Trumpet Jellydew throws out the foul, and let's see if Blue Satin Sashes dies. Well, if he was planning on fouling here, I understand saving the reroll for this to make sure he doesn't double skull and he can get the foul in. Here's the foul. Big Chuck, you're very wrong. That's the opposite of right. Not only was the killer totally fine, the hobgoblin got sent off. Beast and Pest coming back for the Nurgle. The critical one for the Chorfs is this. Only one. So we're going to be down one player for the Chorfs because of that foul send-off there. And we'll have to replace two Chorf blockers with hobgoblins, which is certainly a reduction in pitch presence, considering we're removing a strength 4 guard piece and a guard stand firm piece. But it is the Chorf offense now. So I think they're hoping that Lemony Aspen Twist can accomplish a few things, along with Lavender Foggy Root and Marigold Silk Root. Get a couple dirty player fouls off. See if we can hurt some Nurgles. They certainly need a bit of help, I think, to get back into this. The Nurgle. Well, the Nurgle didn't score on their own drive. The Nurgle team is not depleted really in the slightest. They have all their best players still, other than one Nurgle warrior. And the Chorfs have replaced, they're fielding 4 hobgoblins now. They've only got 4 Chorf blockers. We have to see what happens this drive, I think. This drive is going to be pretty important. If Wolfram can get some removals, he's great. If he allows if Priest to get some removals on him, then things are looking bad for the Chorfs. We'll see what happens. Armor dice can be fickle things. But despite the lack of scoring, I think I would rather be the Nurgle player than the Chorf player in this situation. That may be slightly influenced by the fact that I play Nurgle and I don't like Chorfs, but so take that as you will. But in my best attempt to be objective, if I had to choose one of these two teams from this situation, I would not be upset if I were given the Nurgle. This is the last quarterfinals match, I believe, of both Challengers Cup and playoffs. The result of this one will determine our sort of final 4, or top final 8, I guess, if you will, for both the playoffs and the Challengers Cup. So the playoff matches are a lot fewer and far between now, which is a little sad. The first week is so aggressive. The first 2 weeks, there's a game like every hour, sometimes like 4 at a time. and then they become way sparser once we get to this point, and it's harder to scratch that Blood Bowl playoff itch. Thanks, Twiggy. When is the next game scheduled for, by the way? I mean, obviously, these coaches haven't scheduled anything because they don't know the results, but there should be playoff matches scheduled. There's one on Saturday. I won't spoil anything, although I'm pretty sure both those games are far out of spoiler range. But Herringzord will be casting one on Saturday at 4 p.m. UTC. There's a pylon, and doorbells and sleigh bells is fine. Yeah, it's nuts. There's just games forever, and there's so many things, and it's like hard to find people to do everything. It's like, well, it turns out, everybody, surprise, surprise, that most of us recappers and casters are real people with real lives and real things like jobs. And it becomes pretty difficult to get a ton of matches sometimes when they're scheduled while you're at work. So the first couple weeks are a nightmare for the recappers to try to get everything cast. So I hope everybody says thank you to their friendly local neighborhood recapper if you've enjoyed any of the coverage this playoff season. But the next confirmed playoff match is Saturday at 4 p.m. UTC over on Herringzord's channel. That is a playoff match. Should be pretty exciting. Yes, I totally agree with you, XCam. The crowd is horrendous, and once you see them, you stop. You can't not see them. I mean, I'm Canadian, so I have no... Oh, that's an injury. Crisp Apple Strudels, although he's the rookie that we tried to level. Unfortunately, we couldn't. And unfortunately, he was injured, but fortunately, he got better. I was going to say something about the World Cup. Oh, right. I'm Canadian. At least you Americans get to go to the World Cup. The Canadians have qualified exactly once, ever, and it was like in the 70s sometime, I think. Football is not a particularly large sport in Canada. We have another thing. So more Canadians would watch football if there was ice football. We do have a national maple syrup reserve. That's a real thing. Curling is great. Like, I'm from Atlantic Canada, so like curling is sort of like our unofficial sport. Everybody loves curling. And we've reached that point in the Steak Mittens cast where we talk about anything other than the game, because that happens every time. Every time I start talking about something else and then get distracted, and here we are. I'm sorry, but that's how I roll, apparently. Yes. Yes, Big Chuck. You generally have to, like, it's the same, it's a little bit more complicated because you kind of have to book space. It's not like there's just a bowling alley that you can roll up and, like, hey, is a lane free? You kind of have to be like, I would like to book the ice for tomorrow at 6 p.m., but you can do that. And there are, like, certainly organized leagues and that sort of thing for, like, you know, beer league or pickup or whatever you want to call it. But in reality, you only really need, like, 3 people. Most teams are, like, 4 or 5, but you only really need, like, 3. If you want to do it super casually. It's pretty easy to go. It certainly could be time to talk about maple syrup. Somebody brought up the maple syrup reserve already, so that wasn't even my fault. Here comes the Nurgle Warrior. We find a fat pow on Nightshade Rumplefoot, and he's fine. Yeah, snooker is a billiard sort of game. It's a slightly larger than regulation pool table with a bunch of different colored balls instead of, like, numbered ones if you're used to billiards. and the different colors are worth different points, and they actually reset on the table after you sink them. Like, so if you sink the black ball and then sink a red ball afterwards, you can put the black ball back on the table in a particular spot. So you have to do like colored ball, red ball, colored ball, red ball, colored ball, red ball, colored ball, red ball. But if you do that, you keep getting them back on the table and you can keep getting more points. Yeah, and there a lot of places, especially in North America, will have snooker like ball sets at like billiard places, but they just chuck them onto like regular sized pool tables, and they're like, cool, you can play it now, and it's like, it's not really the same, you know. But so that's what most like North Americans' experience with it is played on the wrong size table. It's like if you took an American football field and just kind of like cut off the whole field at the 20-yard line. Or like, here you go, play football. It's not really the same thing. I am god-awful at billiards of any kind. I'm pretty good at pints, though. So maybe we can combine forces. This is quite a just lump. We've sort of thrown like screens out the window and have just sort of smashed two teams into each other at this point. We do have the Whiskers on Kittens is based up right against the ball carrier, though, which is certainly annoying. However, we can probably do something about that with the Strength 5 bull. And in fact, we can. Electing to stand firm. So if we don't, if the ball moves away, we can still at least stand up the beast on a couple Chorf blockers and have them removed temporarily. The Blood Bowl Large Hadron Collider. Except instead of particles, it's pixels. And instead of creating new and exciting particles that we would like to measure or observe, we create sadness. Bull Centaur backing all the way off. I imagine we're probably just going to run this Hobgoblin out this way as well, using these Bull Centaurs to protect them, now that the Nurgle team have committed themselves pretty seriously. But what direction can the Beast of Nurgle move in? Is it like a king or a bishop? But no, I know what you mean, and I do sort of as a bash coach, I do sort of enjoy the block puzzle when you get kind of marred up in a group like this. Where can I put my guard to get the most number of blocks out of this? How can I free up the most number of players? Who needs to knock down who to make other things 2 dies? Like, the sort of chain of events is pretty interesting. When in doubt, just shove some guard in it. Agi 4 is like cheating, though. Playing with like high movement Agi pieces in Imperium feels so much like cheating to me. I'm like, what do you mean I can just take this guy, put him over there, and then pick up the ball and throw it to him and it's gonna work? Like, what do you mean? That's not a thing. And then you do it and it works, and you're like, wait a minute, elves are cheating. I mean, the beast was on the ball, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. The beast was on the ball, and then we used the bull centaur to knock him over, and then we ran the ball away. That is very true. But it's harder to get strength 5 and strength 6 on reliable pieces than it is to just have a rookie elf. I kind of hope it doesn't go 0-0 into overtime. I would like to do something else with my evening at some point. And if... My beer is almost empty, in fact. And that will be disappointing when it's gone. I would like to reiterate that I have a beer advent calendar. It's incredible. It's just a big 2-4 box with like an extra cover with perforated holes on it, so you punch out the hole every day and reach in and pull out your can of whatever it is, and it's all local craft beer and cider and stuff, and it's really, really cool. Right, enjoy Hummersep. Good luck. Yeah, I have in Clan League, I have 2 block guard mummies, and it's pretty great. I tried playing Khemri once, but it was when I was still in the rookie league. And I was like, Blood Bowl is fun, I should join more structured leagues. So I joined a different league than REBBL and tried playing Khemri when I was still learning how to play the game. And that went very poorly, and I have never played Khemri again. Now that I am less garbage, maybe I would be slightly better at them than I was. And I like to think I'm certainly less bad than I used to be. And I think that's the highest praise I can give myself. Oh, I've been brought another beer. That solves my earlier problem. I've watched a lot of your games, that's true, but I've never played vampires. I'm gonna move my pop filter back into place. Well, I have a significant other who noticed me complaining about not having beer and then brought me another one. Well, we've kind of spread out our scrum into more of a line-on-line situation than we have a scrum situation, but we still have a whole bunch of players marked up on a whole bunch of players. What do you do with the second double? Does that work? I guess it's a pass action, so I suppose. That's funny. You could also do does accurate or strong arm work? Or does that not interact with it the way that I want it to? Or not if you're not if you're Hail Mary passing. If you were just doing it regularly, like if your opponent was close enough to you that you didn't have to Hail Mary pass the bomb at them, would accurate or strong arm work there? Okay. But re-rolling the Hail Mary pass is hilarious. That's amazing. What league is that in, and where can I watch it? Why do you have an Agi 4 Hail Mary pass Bombardier? Oh. Maybe I actually have to play Cripple Ladder. Foul appearance. I played like a couple cripple ladder games and then realized that I don't have the time or motivation to sit down and play ladder games. And it's way easier for me to play Blood Bowl in scheduled environments where I just plan games and then build my day around them rather than being like, oh, I can play now, let's see if people are around. That generally doesn't work with my life schedule. I'm going to try to make it work with Christmas Cracker because Christmas Cracker looks hilarious and I really want to do it. But generally, ladder leagues don't work with my life, unfortunately. Punch a hobgoblin, knock down a hobgoblin, stun a hobgoblin. I have a strength 1 Pogoer in like the actual Cripple Cup because I play goblins in Cripple Cup like some sort of idiot. And my Pogoer is strength 1 and I've tried to get him killed for 2 entire tournaments and he won't die. With strength 1 Mighty Blow is pretty funny. The line's getting a little stretched here. Can we go? We can 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we could hit that. We haven't blitzed yet, right? I haven't been paying attention. We could double GFI 2-die Pukey P right now if we wanted to. And I do not think we are. No, you will not. I have played, I think, the number of CCL games I have ever played can be counted on one hand. And I think they were all ogres. So no, you will not see a Stakeman in the CCL run, ever. That's an injured Chorf. No, the vast majority of my Blood Bowl has been spent inside REBBL in particular, actually. I played in the Twitch Blood Bowl League for like 1 season. But I just don't have enough time for more than 1 league and side leagues, essentially. Went after it with the Horns Pestigor. Or Horns Pestigor, of course he has horns. I just saw horns pop up. I meant Frenzy Wrestle Pestigor. And we get the ball on the floor. We do have to GFI again to mark it, if we would like to make the pickup slightly harder than a 2+ for Pukey P. You can also send the Agi guy after there, but he can't make it either. So we do put the ball on the floor, but we don't exactly make it difficult for the Chorfs to recover it. However, we do make it difficult for the Chorfs to get safe from both of these 2 Pestigors. This sort of line has spread out across the whole field, and we've got players locked up on players, and the low Agi and of the Chorfs and the higher strength of the Nurgle have made the Chorf players pretty hard for them to get themselves free to actually protect this ball. They have this Bull Centaur who can get somewhere technically, but he had to stand up, but he has already stood up, so he can't go anywhere now. So their options for getting this ball are getting this ball safe are pretty unlikely. That is indicative of something occurring. My favorite part about that is that Aldar picked them randomly. Which is the, like, weirdest thing that I've ever... like, perfect round, random clicking. Like, screw all you guys and your, like, actual thought-out, like, tipping competition. Random choices. Here we go. We made the pass after a reroll, and the Bull Centaur just caught it. Okay. I don't have any words. We did fail jump up, though. So that was a 4+ pass, 5+ catch that he rolled double 6s on. He then immediately rolled a 1 to fail the jump up. And then uphilled the... Okay. Sure. We just uphilled a rotter and and got him down. I mean, he doesn't have block or anything, so it's not like the most unlikely uphill. But I think it's pretty funny that you find the like POW stumbles after that 5+ or 4+5+ nonsense. Well, I mean, we can still go after him. The problem is the ball's now in the hands of a strength 5 bull centaur. We can 1-die it with the Claw Mighty Blow Tackle guy. We can 2-die it actually. Is that Pestigore is also free. With a couple GFIs, so 3 GFIs total, and we can 2-die him. One GFI. So now we can go after him with this piece. You could also technically dodge out a Nurgle Warrior, but that seems like a crazy thing to do. Here we go. I mean, we're all very excited about it being on the strength 5, but it turns out it didn't accomplish anything. Oh well. Well, we didn't break armor. We do pile on. Do we break armor? We don't. Where's the ball go? Out! Where's it go now? Not very far away. Not bad for the Nurgle, really. The Chorfs can't reach it currently. The armor break? Just a stun. The Chorfs can reach it with this piece, but the Nurgle have enough players there that are going to make that fairly difficult for them to reach. And I don't think anybody else is in range of the ball currently for the Chorfs. He still can get the ball. With, like, this guy can reach, but all you have to do is make it so that he has to make 2 dodges to reach. Oh, right, but it's the Chorf turn. So 1... Yeah, he can make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, he's gonna have to dodge twice, right? Because movement 3. Or like 3 to stand up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Am I crazy? He can also blitz his way through, I suppose. Yeah, we'll have to blitz it. Nope, we just failed the dodge. You can only do it, that won't do it, unfortunately, and we've had to reroll. So now we have to dodge again, and we don't have break tackle. Oh no, we don't. We didn't use break tackle because we just rolled the dodge. So he can still do this, because he didn't have to use break tackle the first time. It did waste his movement, but he can still get to the ball. But unfortunately, we didn't use break tackle on the first dodge after failing it, so we were able to get free and get onto the ball. Not exactly how we wanted that to work out, but it certainly could have gone worse. Nurgle can still knock that player down pretty easily, but we're not going to have great recovery options if we do. Try to make it a 2-die. They don't have anybody else who can reach the ball. It's just that Bull Centaur. Well, that one KO'd himself. I mean, the other thing you could do is 1-die it with this guy. Nope, we're just gonna try to 2-die it. You could 1-die it with this guy and then just try to pick up after the 1-die. You could also just 2-die him, and if you knock him down, it's pretty unlikely that he accomplishes much. And at this point, it's looking like overtime is probably favoring the Nurgle, so maybe we're aiming for that. Although this is not going to be very light. You're not going to be able to recover the ball as Nurgle with this. You can't. I don't think you can blitz him and get the ball. And you definitely can't do it if you pile on. I think the Nurgle are more than happy to aim for overtime here. They have 2 rerolls, Wolfram is none. They have a player advantage that's only going to keep rolling. They're under, like, no pressure to make this a win in regulation. They'd like it, but they don't need to. And there you go. That'll do it. They have plenty of time to win. I don't mean, like, 100% play for overtime. What I mean is they don't care if they go to overtime. So, like, hitting the Bull Centaur there instead of trying to do a 4+ pickup is pretty good. Like, if they wanted to pick up, they're okay with using that turn not picking up the ball, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. They don't need to. They don't care if they do, because they're probably going to win. So they might as well make it as easy as possible for themselves, instead of, like, risking a 4+ pickup instead of a 3+ pickup next turn. That bull being injured is certainly a problem. That is a triple uphill that works. Like, technically, it works in that it doesn't result in a turnover. Tentacles. Not doing what it needs to. Cool. Well, we move the killer back up to start getting in range of hitting important things. We pick up the ball with the block Pestigore, and we start going forward. And, you know, we'll get it up to one of these guys and score and win the game. Ideally on turn 16. And until then, we'll just keep controlling the Chaos Dwarves. That is another Chaos Dwarf controlled. That is a movement busted rookie Chorf, so he's dead. Very good control. Very good pitch control. I feel like I wouldn't be too upset if I was fired from a Blood Bowl team. Means that I was less likely to die. We don't get the ball, unfortunately. Although, I mean, we still have 2 turns to score. Next turn we get the ball and move forward. Turn after we move forward and score. It's certainly not free, because it does involve dice rolls, but there's not really a whole lot the Chorfs can do to stop it. They just kind of have to hope that the Nurgle roll 2s or 1s. Is pretty much the Chorf strategy right now. Yeah, that's what I was saying before too, Herringzord, then, which chat immediately jumped on me for, of course, is that the Nurgle don't really care if they go to overtime, because they're going to win in overtime as well. They'd obviously rather win in regulation, but they're not really worried about going to overtime, because they're just going to win it anyway. So they're not under any pressure to make it happen. They can even save their rerolls if they want to. They could waste that turn, like, quote, end quote, waste that turn by punching that Bull Centaur instead of trying to do a 4+ pickup. Proof that Nurgle are a control team and not a kill team. He's controlled how many of the Chorfs are available for overtime. This is one of my favorite playoff memes, and I'm glad it's returned. We control them right into the Kaz box. There's only one more square. We could fill the Kaz box. Go, brave hobgoblin. Go, lavender foggy root. I mean, you might as well try to pick it up, right? Because sitting there, he's just immediately going to get palmed. If he has the ball... I mean, I guess he's going to get palmed either way. But I feel like the ball makes it slightly... If you pick up the ball, and if it scatters down here, or if you can even get here and then get palmed and have it scatter down here, you make it ever so slightly harder. I mean, the Troffs just need to get it here. They don't even need to long bomb it. They just need to pick it up and then pray. Yeah, pick up the ball. Worth a try. But it did scatter down here, right? So now this Pestigore has to waste two of his precious 6 movement to get a hold of the ball. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if this Pestigore is picking it up. So the best case is a Pestigore is here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all you can like hand off pass or even just short pass, but like it becomes a lot more dice even because the ball is down this way. He almost did it! He's dead though. Well, he's stunned. Now he's KO'd, which is almost dead. Fill up the Kaz box, let's go. I want to see something out of this. Nothing? Poor Lavender Foggy Root. He was a hero. Or he tried to be a hero. And it didn't work. He tried so hard to be a hero. But it was not destined to be. Ball. Got the ball. Forward. I mean, so how aggressive do you feel is Wolfram here? Because there's currently one scoring threat. And there's somebody nicely in range of blitzing that scoring threat. That is not a scoring threat. Just hit him. What's the scoring threat? Oh, what's that? Is Rumblebee here? Always blitz the scorer. Rumblebee. Rumblebee. It's a safety chorf, Hobgoblin. He has wrestle, you could just one-die him. Do it! Yeah! Fuck. That's my one, and I feel like it's appropriate. No. Mop top twisty beard. Blitz him and don't roll a skull, idiot. I appreciate the balls on Wolfram there. Like, I'm gonna take my like important player and just go for it. Instead of giving up. Some people certainly would just hide him off in a corner. But I enjoy I appreciate the fortitude. Well, there are now 3 Chorfs on the field. 4 Chorfs, actually. This one was hiding. We attempt to pass to the Rotter so that we can then hand off to the Pestigore and score, and we fail. So, here we go. How many Chorfs will there be? There's the potential for a 4 Chorf offense here. Depends on how the KO rolls go. That's better than average, I suppose. So we at least have, what, 7 Chorfs? Yeah, 7 Chorfs. Here's the also important coin flip. Seven Chorfs. One Bull Centaur, 3 Chorfs, and 3 Hobgoblins. I like how the dirty player Hobgoblins are the only ones in the field. All the rest, like the ball carrier and the dirty players. The ones that are likely to be removed are just there. If this goes to kicks, I will eat a shoe. I shouldn't promise that, because if the internet has taught me anything, now it's 100% guaranteed to come true. So I will not eat a shoe, because I don't want to eat a shoe. But I would not expect it to go to kicks. Hello, Arctic Antarctic. This has all been a clever ploy to force people to clip my channel and therefore increase my analytics numbers. No, it wasn't. I mean, there is the argument you could just throw a bunch of strength on the LOS and then you'd probably not be able to do anything to you. There's also the argument that he could get a lucky removal. And you already have enough of an advantage that you don't need to press it that much. Like, you're going to be able to hit whoever you want afterwards anyway. I mean, it just sort of depends on how you feel, I guess. I think why bother is probably the best argument that is a good distillation of that statement. I mean, you could, but why? You could technically do it, I suppose, but then you're more likely to have good players hit. Abstruse tolerant fungus, too spicy. To be fair, after that clip, I immediately said, no, I will not do that. Fungus too spicy. Those capsaicin mushrooms. Well, we stacked the left side and then the ball went right. And, you know, we can't exactly get it safe. Do you just risk it? Like, it's, I mean, you're absolutely gonna lose if you just pick up the ball and sit back here. You'll lose if you fail, but if you win, at least you have a chance. You could pick it up and, like, hurl it to the Bull Centaur. I think the Chorfs and Wolfram are definitely in a position where you chuck dice and hope they work, because that's kind of your only hope at winning. And if they don't work, you're just gonna lose, but if you don't try, you're gonna lose anyway. You did share that twice, but that's acceptable. I mean, the good news is he's at least out of range of things. But we can get, you know, a Rotter and a Pestigore in pretty serious threat range of no matter where that ball goes, while still keeping, you know, Pestigores back as safeties. Are we debating the just Huckett play. I wouldn't hate it. Because I'm just worried about, like, you know, hey, look, block, like, slam, 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 up, up, and then suddenly all 6 of these Chorfs are tied up, can't do anything, and you've got a Pestigore charging towards the ball carrier. Dauntless works, so we make this a 2-die, but we don't find anything. I mean, we gotta push. That's not really what we want out of Indigo Island Route. Bull Centaur scoring threat. Or, I mean, attempted scoring threat. He actually needs to go one more if he wants to be a scoring threat for next turn. One-man Hobgoblin screen. I mean, yeah, we're going to move this Rotter forward, we're going to move this Pestigore forward, and then we're just going to tie up every other player. Is what I would do anyway, and I'd move this Pestigore to, like, up here, so that we have a threat for this side of the field. Hey, I think that's the exact square that I pointed to. And then it's going to be about using these 3 players to tie up as much as we can over here. Even if we don't, like, prevent blocks or prevent the Chorfs from going forward, we have 3 stink over here. So -3 to your already 5+ catch if we're trying to hurl it and just get going. So where is the blitz coming in? Could just blitz this Chorf from the back with cream-colored ponies. Could also blitz, or with this Pestigore, in fact. That works too. The one thing I'm worried about is not having a safety Pestigore in case something miraculous happens. But I think it would involve some miracles for anything else to happen. I mean, so we have like a 6+ catch if we try to pass it this turn. We could also just back off because technically we can be out of range of these players. This positioning forces you to mark one of your Pestigores though, which is kind of interesting. I don't necessarily agree with that spot. Yeah, I mean, you could just run here and then punt, like, to this Hobgoblin, I guess. Just because it's possible that he catches it, but if not, at least it lands in this mess. And then you can kind of race for it. I think it would have been better to put the Pestigore here so that you weren't forced to mark him with a Chorf. But I mean, this Chorf isn't going to do anything anymore, so I guess it's not super relevant. But it leaves you with fewer options. Bull just moves forwards. And also, like, I think I would have preferred blitzing the back with this Nurgle Warrior, like doing the exact same thing. Blitzing this piece and then moving to where he was, and then keeping this Pestigore out front. For, like, this exact reason. Like, if Wolfram just gets his 6 here, you lose, and you have nothing to do about it. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop it, really. I guess technically you have this guy, but it's double GFIs, and we can even get out of range if we want to. And he is out of the smell now as well. Yeah, so there you go. There's a lot of GFIs, but he's actually safe. Like, the Nurgle can't hit him. So if we just, like, Hail Mary it to him, and by Hail Mary I mean Long Bomb, and even if it lands in this general area, we have a chance. Like, I think I would have liked blitzing with cream-colored ponies, and then moving this Pestigore back here, or even like out front or something. Well, we failed the GFI, so never mind. I was really hoping that would be a little more exciting. He was GFIing to here, so that it was a shorter pass, I believe. One more would have put him in stink. But that's disappointing. I was hoping we'd at least see the pass attempt. But we just failed the GFI. How long is a pass? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. He was 13 squares away at that point, so no, he wasn't in range. So we needed to make it to be in range, right? I don't know what the max range of a pass is because I never pass. No, I think that's correct. Wolfbark agreeing, yeah. So we had to make that GFI to actually put him in range. It was convenient, though, in that he was just outside of stink, but, you know, he still would have needed a 6. There you go. 13. Shows you how often I pass. Well, I was hoping we'd at least get to try to make the pass. You know, it would have been pretty exciting if you, like, you know, rolled a 5 or whatever and it landed down here somewhere. But instead, we get sadness. Indigo Island route is KO'd. It's very true. I mean, yeah, I make like 3+ passes and like stuff like that. And I've made Desperation like 4+ passes, but like the number of times I've long bombed with like a Nurgle or Undead team, I can probably count on one hand. So I don't actually know didn't know what the max range was. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it's overtime. This is what the rerolls are for, right? We can just do this again and now it's easier. Well, no, it's not easier because he's in stink now. Oh, he's got the ball. Here we go, attempt number 2! I'm so excited. I wanted it to be more exciting. It's more exciting! Oh, that's not more exciting. I mean, I guess it's technically more exciting. When it landed here, I was like super stoked. I was like, oh man. If Wolfram pulls this off, that'd be incredible. And then it scattered out and went to the center of the pitch. And then suddenly I became disappointed again. Get out of here. Get out. There you go. He's gone. It's still technically on. We have 2 hobgoblins in range of the ball. Okay, you're out. His Marigold Silk Root can still 6 his way to victory. No. Not anymore. Well, I think that's gonna about do it. If it wasn't done before, it's as done as it can be now. Oh, now your beast can't block the hobgoblin, though. There is not a single player in range of the Pestigore with the ball. I mean, at this rate, it might be. The good news is that one of those Nurgle teams is likely to be me, and my Nurgle team is utter garbage. And so there's no reason why I shouldn't have rerolled. Any reasonable human being would have rerolled my team. I didn't for reasons unknown. Priest is G-Man though, yeah. But I mean, there's still the chance that we get 14 Nurgle teams in Rel 1. There was like 5 in Rel 2A, and then like 3 in Rel 1, and all the ones in Rel 2 did pretty well. Like, so there's a lot of Nurgle teams in the top division or two. Well, that won't do it. At least you're not getting surfed. Yeah, G-Man 3A for Priest, and Wolfram is in Rel 3A, actually. So there's a handy-dandy little mirror there as well. Well, let's hit the Bull Centaur. He's fine. Fumble giggle button.
Hold on.
Do we have hope? Is there a great Chorf hope? Well, we have jump up, so I guess technically. There you go, full Casbox. Merry Christmas! Click Chorf, click ball. You can do it. It's only a bunch of dodges and tentacles. What could possibly go wrong? Click Chorf, click ball. Although you'd have to be crazy to do that because this is a really good Chorf blocker. And you really don't want to have the chance of him having to take more armor rolls. He's kind of important. You might... I would not blame Wolfram whatsoever at this point for just keeping him on the floor. Oh, I'm sorry about the ads. Technically, I have that stupid, like, you can run a 60-second ad break and then people stop seeing, like, pre-roll ads for a while. But that seems like a waste of time in general and in the playoffs in particular. Hey, all of you, I'm just going to make you miss the next, like, minute of game so that new people coming in don't have to see ads for 10 seconds. Seems great. It does seem kind of dumb. People do complain about the pre-roll ads a lot because people will, like, when they want to tune in to see what somebody's doing real quick, if they just before they decide if they want to, like, watch or not. Not a Kaz. And they'll, like, see the pre-roll ads and just be like, ah, fuck it, and give up. But, like, running mid of stream ads just to stop that for a little bit is kind of dumb. Like, if you're gonna take, like, a 2-minute bathroom break or something, then sure, why not? But, like, you have to do it every, like, half an hour to keep it going, and that's stupid. Because Twitch has been pretty good about... some ad blockers don't work very well on Twitch and all that sort of thing. You can get rid of them completely if you, do some custom DNS server stuff. But I feel like that's counterintuitive to talk about. It's very true. I mean, so I have no idea what the Coke Gaming ad is because I don't get that one in my region. It's all location based, and in some places, if you're in a place that doesn't have like defined ad sections, like some less populated areas and that kind of thing, will have fewer ads or sometimes totally irrelevant ones. Because Twitch like has like the ads are from contracts, right? Like Twitch is selling ad space to Coke or whatever. And if Coke doesn't say, I would like to show ads in region X, here is my $7 million, please show ads there. There you go. Win for Priest and the Nurgle. Then if they're not paying for ads in a particular spot, then there just won't be ads in the spot. Blame Dwiggy. I get a boatload of Amazon Prime like video ads, yeah, and I have Prime, so like, it's why are you advertising to me? I literally already pay for your service. Well, Injured Hobgoblin gets the MVP, and a Rodder gets the MVP, so that's disappointing in terms of MVPs. But Priest will move forward with my favorite things, with 7 injuries inflicted to the Chorfs. 58 blocks, 1-0 in overtime, and I do not have to eat a shoe. There you go. That is the final quarterfinal in the Challengers Cup. So Priest and my favorite things will be moving I know, right? Well, you started it, Twiggy. That means that Priest will be moving on to the semifinals with the 3 other coaches in the semifinals of the Challengers Cup. And we also have the semifinals for the playoffs starting this week. So we're down to the final 8, top 4 in both of our 2 postseason cups. Congratulations, Priest. And just to confirm, for those of you that missed me talking about it earlier, the next confirmed and scheduled as of this very moment playoff game will be on Saturday, the 14th at 4 p.m. UTC, which is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for you Americans, on Herring's channel. That is the next scheduled playoff game. We have a couple Challengers Cup games to be scheduled still, pending. So they may end up being scheduled between now and then, but that's the only one that's confirmed currently. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and my nonsense. My casting is often very silly, but I hope you had a good time. I know I certainly did. See you guys in the playoffs stream on Saturday. I'm gonna send you guys to somebody. Hummersep is a good fellow. He's playing in REBBL now. Go say hello to him. We have no other playoff games to go to. But until next time, I've been Steak Mittens, and I will see all of you guys next time. Thanks, everybody.